Tonight on this special hour-long edition of NewsVision, the latest from the trial of the Parkland shooter, learn how the courtroom was shaken up this week during jury selection, leading to a setback for the case.
As soon as the panel comes up, I'm granting the motion. We're going to start over.
Plus, the cinema theater at the University of Miami is trying to get students back after the COVID-19 pandemic. Hear about what the Cosford theater is doing to revamp itself post-pandemic. And later on, one sorority on campus is celebrating its legacy by giving back and educating the community. UMTV reporter Julia Hecht will be live at the event tonight to find out what makes this week unlike any other for Alpha Kappa Alpha. These stories and more on tonight's show. NewsVision starts right now.
Hello and welcome to the last edition of NewsVision for the semester. I'm Sophia Vitello.
And I'm Harvey Duplock. Thank you for joining us. For the next hour, we'll have the latest on SpaceX, housing in South Florida, and how the University of Miami is celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month in early this week.
But first tonight, Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz's death penalty case is delayed again after a mistake during jury selection that forced the judge to restart the trial. The 11 jurors were supposed to be back in court on Monday for further questioning, but Florida Judge Elizabeth Schurer said there was a, quote, miscommunication, and the jurors will be back next week instead. This all comes after the judge's decision on Monday to restart the jury selection process.
Well, then we're going to start over. So, as soon as the panel comes up, I'm granting the motion. We're going to start over.
Judge, Judge Schurer also ruled she should have questioned the jurors who said they would not follow the law. One lawyer for the case could be heard saying to the judge that it was a mistake they can clear up, adding that there is, quote, no bad faith on anyone's part. The trial will continue sometime in June.
SpaceX has launched 4 NASA astronauts into space from the Kennedy Space Center on Wednesday on their way to the International Space Station. One of the astronauts, Jessica Watkins, is now the first black woman to go on a long-duration space mission. This is the 5th time in the past 2 years that SpaceX has launched a crew into space for NASA. The crew is expected to stay at the ISS for 5 months.
One bean company based in Doral, Florida is recalling its French beans after one scary bacteria is found in their products. The FDA reported the recall after Alpine Fresh Incorporated's 1-pound package of Hippie Organics beans had a potential Listeria contamination. Listeria can cause serious and sometimes fatal infections. The company voluntarily issued the recall isolated to one lot. The beans are in clear plastic packages marked with lot number 313-626 on the back. No illnesses linked to the beans have been reported. The company says it's taking corrective action to prevent this from happening again. Customers can return the product for a full refund.
There are no recalls in this next story. From crowns to ball gowns, native Floridian Brianna Miles may know a thing or two about the world of beauty pageants. Miles is a current Miss Teen USA and the first person from Florida to win the crown. Reporter Isabella Morales met with Brianna to find out a little more about her journey.
Brianna Miles was crowned Miss Teen USA on November 27, 2021 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She is the first Afro-Latina to capture the crown.
Sometimes growing up, I really didn't see that representation. Being an Afro-Latina, I really want to be able to be that representation for little girls to know that if I can do it, they can do it too.
Brianna is a South Florida native who started pageants at the age of 12. Now, 6 years later, she is the reigning Miss Teen USA.
I got a letter in the mail, and so I decided to start it out.
From her preteen to teen years, Brianna has held several local, state, national, and international titles.
So Brianna and I started our coaching journey at the age of 14 years old. Ever since then, we've had our eyes set for Miss Teen USA.
After competing twice for Miss Florida, Brianna captured the crown at only 18 years old and earned the right to represent her home state at the national pageant.
I could not. My heart was beating so fast. And when they called her, I was just sitting and they said Florida, and I again dropped to the floor.
Brianna's mother, Rosa Miles, was also her guidance counselor in high school, so Rosa has supported both her academic and pageant journeys.
Our dream was to be Miss Florida Teen USA one day, and I said, let's do this.
Without the help of her mother, Brianna says she could not do it all.
Not only is she my mom, but she is my role model, my cheerleader, my personal Uber. She is the absolute best, and I would not be here without her.
From small town girl with big dreams, Brianna has accomplished her goal of representing the USA while also representing her Dominican and African American background. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Isabella Morales.
Fia, do you think I would look good in like any of those dresses?
Yes, Harvey, I think you'd look good in a pretty pink dress.
You know what? My mum said that as well. Anyways, we'll take a short break here, but when NewsVision returns, one University of Miami student got knocked down by the waves. Learn how he's using TikTok to share his journey and inspire others when we come back. Stay with us.
A domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Thank you for staying with us. The Bill Cosford Cinema Theater is a hidden gem on campus that gives students a free and easy way to watch new movies.
Yes, and after being closed for years because of the pandemic, Cosford has been trying to come up with new ways to get people back into the theater.
That's right, Harvey. UMTV reporter Dave Repka is live outside Cosford Cinema. Dave, what's new at the campus theater?
Guys, Cosford has introduced a new incentive to help get people back inside the movie theater. Watching Movies With is a brand new program this semester that allows you to come see a movie with a special guest.
The Cosford Cinema on University of Miami's campus reopened last fall after being closed due to the pandemic. This spring, they've launched a new line of events called Watching Movies With that invites prominent members of the South Florida community to come and enjoy a movie of their choosing with guests.
So I thought of an idea of a series called Watching Movies With, where we invite someone from the community who's not known for movies, right, who is known for something else, but also happens to like movies. And they pick a film, whichever film they want to show, and then they come, they introduce the movie, we show the movie with an audience, and then afterwards they sit down for a Q&A.
Movies have the power to bring the community together. Allowing notable names in the South Florida area to show a film that they love with the masses allows them to share a different side of themselves that residents and the members of the University of Miami community may not otherwise know.
Some people have very distinct humor, so if they just name a certain comedy, then it's very obvious of what their type of humor, what they're gonna laugh to, or like a certain drama, maybe there's a certain like issue or trauma that they can relate to in a drama, and that describes a lot of their personal experience, and they find that on the screen, and that's why it's their favorite movie.
I'm standing right outside the Cosford Cinema where events like these take place each month. Members that work at the Cosford Cinema hope that these events will bring people back inside the cinema.
Telling someone your favorite story is just something that's uniquely human. And I think that's a great idea for the Cosford Cinema to be able to do something like that with people that are normally kind of out of reach.
From Pulitzer Prize winners to food critics, there's something for everyone at the Watching Movies With event, and they are sure to bring this tight-knit community closer than ever.
It's a great excuse to grab your friends, get some popcorn, and relieve some of the stress of the upcoming finals week. Reporting for UMTV for the last time, I'm Dave Repka.
Dave Repka, great reporting as usual. Thank you. One UM student is using the power of social media to inspire and inform. Reporter Embrick Isles has the story.
For many students, the adjustment to college is tough, but for UM student Ernest Patty, it started off easy.
I was here for 2 weeks, and during those 2 weeks, met a lot of great people.
And during his second weekend at UM, Ernest decided to do what many Miami students do on the weekend.
Guys and I were trying to figure out what we wanted to do that day, and I was like, hey, why don't we go to the beach?
On August 22nd, 2020, Ernest and his friends would take an Uber here to Miami Beach before he would go into the water, be knocked over by the tide, and fracture his C6 vertebrae, which changed his life forever.
I remember just saying, like, if it's now, might as well take me now and make it painless.
Ernest immediately got the attention of his friends, who called for help. He was rushed to Jackson Memorial Hospital and underwent emergency spinal cord surgery. But when he got to the hospital, no one was allowed to be by his side.
They said that he was still not conscious, and that COVID restrictions, wouldn't allow me to go.
His parents were let into the hospital the next day, but once he was released, he would spend months in rehab.
Heartbreaking days, to see him grappling with this and struggle with this, but overall inspiring.
To help pass the time and to spread awareness about people with disabilities, Ernest made a TikTok page in January.
It actually wasn't a long time between him being against TikTok and him starting his own page, which was really funny.
And trying to educate people and say, hey, this is totally normal. We're still normal people and we can still function.
Ernest has over 50,000 followers, but he's more proud of the community that he's been able to create.
It's also been a great way to connect with other people in my certain situation.
And Ernest has made a positive impact on so many people. His family has received over $550,000 in donations to pay for future medical expenses that aren't covered by insurance.
I don't think I'd be able to convey the depth of gratitude to the people in our families and our community.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ember Giles.
Well, speaking of students making a difference, the Community Emergency Response Team is a nationwide organization that helps students across all campuses prepare for disaster situations. Here at UM, the Canes Emergency Response Team hosts events once a week to teach safety skills. Tuesday's hour-long lesson, dubbed Insomnia and Vitals, kicked off at 9 p.m. and featured 100 insomnia cookies. The office played in the background while students mingled and ate cookies before the session. The team leaders demonstrated how to take blood and measure pulse with a stethoscope. The 20 students broke into groups of 4 and participated on each other.
It's very important to stay up to date and stay updated with, just being safe, and having the right procedures and the right training to be able to handle really any situation. That's what we provide students.
Although this was the final event of the school year, students can join the Canes Emergency Response Team through Engage and get involved with next semester's events.
And owning a dog can be one of the most fulfilling experiences, but if your dog runs into unexpected behavioral problems, things can get a little rough. UMTV reporter Annalise Iraola brings us the story of one former UM student who is making a difference in the world of dog training.
Listen. Every dog comes with its own personality, but no dogs come with their own training guide. That's why Brian Galea, a UM graduate, created Snoot, an app to help train and raise your dog or puppy.
You get a dog to have a more fun life, to take them places, to exercise with them, to socialize with them, to build a relationship. They're companions, right? And it's such a stressful thing to have a dog who has a behavioral problem.
Galea trains dogs in all different environments like malls, daycares, and the airport. After rescuing his own dog Dash, Galea saw a greater need for a company to help guide new owners. He dropped his plan for medical school and pursued an MBA at the Herbert School for Business, where he refined his idea for Snoot.
I started this company that was aiming to kind of fix those problems from the ground up at shelters and various rescues, to kind of start with educating owners from the beginning, because that's where they're the most needing.
Snoot walks new owners through a variety of behavioral problems with tutorial videos and how-to guides. Galea also co-founded a therapy dog group, Heel to Heel, before making the Snoot app. Heel to Heel founder Deborah Snyder has seen Galea's professional dog training methods work wonders.
He's an incredible trainer. So it's been fabulous because you can have a
dog that's completely stellar, and they could just pick up a little bit of a bad habit here and there. And so he immediately knows all the tricks on how to deal with that. So he trains us.
Several organizations, including the Miami-Dade County Animal Services, have already begun encouraging new owners to use the app. Galia's goal is to continue guiding new owners until they're confident on their own.
If you teach somebody well, you know, it's the expression, you teach somebody how to fish, you know, they become much more confident, right? And they become a more confident, happier dog owner, and that is what I find most rewarding.
Aw, dogs are just so healing. I need a dog here, Harvey.
Oh, I agree, but I got my 2 beautiful dogs back home that I am very excited to see in a couple of weeks.
Can you please bring them here so I can meet them?
He's 150 pounds. I don't think I can do that.
Okay, great. Well, let's get a look now at the weather with UMTV weathercaster Quinn Davidson.
Quinn, will I be able to do some nice rooftop tanning for my frail European complexion?
Well, Harvey, if it is not raining this weekend, those UV index values are going to be quite high, so it's sure to put on sunscreen is essential. Taking a look outside right now, we do have cloudy conditions at 76 degrees. Our South Florida radar is looking quite active right now, as you can see. Taking a closer look, we do have scattered showers and storms all across the region, with thunderstorms up in Alligator Alley and approaching South Miami-Dade County into Homestead. So if you are heading out of the house for your evening commute, an umbrella is a must, and just keep an eye out for those gusty showers and storms. We do have a high pressure system that is situated right over the southeastern United States, and a cold front that is positioned right off the coast of Florida, which is allowing for the enhancement of moisture and a sea breeze to converge and create thunderstorms and showers across our region. As you can see, our futurecast is showing another round and flare-up of those storms tomorrow around 4 p.m. And again, clearing out, and that high pressure system does flow down and dominating the flow of winds, which will eventually subside through tonight. As you can see, only 3 miles per hour in Fort Lauderdale and Miami throughout tonight. But those winds do pick right back up tomorrow as that cold front inches down, 22 miles per hour in Fort Lauderdale and 18 miles per hour in Miami. And once again, on Saturday, those winds are quite breezy for our beachgoers. As you can see in our beach forecast, the high is 79 degrees. That UV is a 10, and the rip current risk remains high throughout the weekend. The chance of rain is 60%, so if you are heading to the beach, just keep an eye out for any showers or storms and make sure to stay safe with those rip current risks. Tonight's forecast, we are looking at a low of 71 degrees with showers clearing out and that chance of storms persisting throughout the night. And tomorrow, once again, those showers and storms remaining relatively more in the afternoon hours at 79 degrees. And looking at our 7-day forecast, we do have the chance of rain and a wet weekend throughout Monday. But by the time we get to Tuesday, we are looking at sunny skies. That is all the time we have for weather right now. But I did hear it is raining buckets at the FTX Arena. Regina, can you please tell us more about that?
Oh, it is, Quinn. Well, I'm sports anchor Regina Potenza, and when we return, all the latest in NBA playoffs and the Miami Grand Prix after a word from some of our graduating NewsVision seniors.
I've been part of UMTV for the past 4 years since freshman year. UMTV has been such a big part of my past 4 years here at college. It's definitely been my biggest commitment. I remember going to NewsVision every Thursday afternoon and just spending my whole afternoon there just because I loved being part of it so much. And it's really helped me prepare for what I'm doing right now as a on-air meteorologist and weather producer. Without this experience, I wouldn't be able to get any job in this industry.
My name is Samantha Velez, and I have been a part of UMTV for 3 years and video produced for NewsVision and segment produced for Sports Desk. UMTV has been basically my whole college experience. I couldn't imagine my time at UM without it. I've made amazing friends here, people that I'll talk to literally for the rest of my life, and people that I literally couldn't imagine my life without these people, so I'm so grateful that UMTV brought us together.
End of the first half, Max Strus, well, what does he do? He comes off the screen and knocks down the three-pointer. 3 of his 15 points of the night. Miami's still leading in the third quarter, but here comes John Collins. Well, what does he do? He throws down the two-hand jam. You can see him going up the court. There he goes for the slam. And later on, we have Victor Oladipo nailing the triple from the top of the key, from the extend Now to the fourth quarter, heat up by 3. Hawks get the inbound pass, but Miami brings the trap. The defense stifles the Hawks as Bam Adebayo comes up with the series-clinching steal as the Heat defeats the Hawks in the first round 4-1. This weekend, Miami hosts its first Formula One Grand Prix at the Miami International Autodrome. This is the 5th Grand Prix of the season, where 20 drivers across 10 teams will compete by racing the fastest cars in the world over the course of 57 laps. While Belgian driver Max Verstappen won the championship last year, Monaco's Charles Leclerc is starting off the season strong, currently holding the most points with 86. Tickets for the event start at about $700 and sold for as high as $25,000 for a 3-day pass. Tickets went on sale in October 2021 and sold out in just 40 minutes. And finally, we introduce you to one marathon runner who does not fit the traditional profile. UMTV reporter Leslie Ann Dominique has his story.
It says 8 months.
In some ways, Courtney Barron is your average 78-year-old senior citizen. He loves going to church, catching up with old friends, and telling extended stories.
Looking good, looking good.
But there is something that keeps Courtney feeling and looking much younger than his actual age.
I'm 78 years old, and people say I look like I'm 60 years old, so it keeps me going.
This Jersey-born Miami resident has been running competitively for 55 years and runs an average of 25 marathons every year.
I'm doing a 5K in about 48, 49 minutes.
Courtney once owned a club called Winning Stride, where he first began creating relationships through running.
I have a philosophy that a stranger is just a friend you haven't met.
One of his dearest friends is 52-year-old Ethel Belair, who met Courtney at church.
My first impression was like, I'm gonna get together with this guy. We're gonna get together, we're gonna do some things together, we're gonna run together, yeah.
And so Courtney the friend became Coach Courtney, and he would train Ethel every day at the crack of dawn.
He was faster than I. So he's like, I'm gonna go your pace. We're running at Ethel's pace. Ethel's pace.
Like any great tale, the apprentice eventually became the master, and Ethel's pace is now fast enough to medal in international races. Still, Ethel has not forgotten those early mornings with Courtney.
We say running is therapy. We talk about how, the hurt we've been through and how we got over it with the help of God. Well, I really appreciate him more than he knows. Yeah, more than he knows.
For Courtney, it's very important to pass the baton to younger runners like Ethel. But he also says running means way more for him. In fact, he credits it with saving his life. Years ago, Courtney had a bad breakup and suffered a deep depression that caused him to become suicidal.
I had a permit to carry a .38, and I went up to the South Mountain Reservation planning on blowing my brains out.
He says the only 2 reasons why he is still alive are his faith and running.
Running was a godsend. It just made me feel like new money. I don't take life for granted. I was definitely given another shot at life.
And Courtney has truly embraced life and is determined to leave a lasting legacy when he does meet his final finish line.
There's a song, if I could help somebody, that my living would not be in vain. And so I just want to have it said that I tried to help everybody. If I can help somebody, then my living will not.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Leslie Ann Dominique.
And that's all the time for sports for this half hour, but we will have more later. And coming up next on NewsVision, it's Pink Cello Week for the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. UMTV reporter Julia Hecht will be live at Shalala after a word from some of our graduating NewsVision seniors.
Guys, I'm David, and I have been a part of UMTV for only 1 year, but it has been a great year to say the least. I wanted to do UMTV for 3 years, ever since I transferred here, but I was always kind of nervous or anxious to do it. I've been able to learn so much from every single person here. It's been a community and a family-like relationship that you just don't find everywhere on campus. If it wasn't for Tyler and Treadwell literally taking my hand and pulling me in, I wouldn't have had that experience.
Hi, I'm Jared Maloney. I'm a student weathercaster, and I've done UMTV for 3 years. I'm generally a much more introverted guy, or at least a quieter guy. And UMTV has really helped, helped me grow as a person in a lot of ways, just helped me be more confident in myself. I'm very grateful for all the students, all the faculty, all the engineers helping run everything, and it's a really beautiful thing.
It's Charter Week for the Iota New chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha. They're celebrating 75 years of being on UM's campus. UMTV reporter Julia Hecht is live at the Shalala Student Center, where the 4th event this week is taking place. Julia, what is this all leading up to?
Sophia, AKA, is calling this week Pink Jella. Every day there's an event that relates to one of the program's 5 targets. That's, of course, all leading up to Charter Day, which is taking place on Saturday. But what we have going on right here behind me at the Iron Arrow Room, it's a conversation about global impact and disparities with women, immigrants, refugees. That's going on with 2 UM professors. I want to take you now to some video of some of the events that have been going on this week. On Tuesday, there's a performance showcase honoring the arts, featuring singers, poets, and dancers from the campus community. Members of the sorority getting up to stroll once the performance is wrapped up, bringing up some great energy to the rock. And on Wednesday, serving up some health and wellness, the girls took to the volleyball fields to get some plays in. Of course, all this leading up to the sorority's Charter Day, which is an important milestone for the chapter.
I wouldn't be able to be a part of this organization on this campus if it wasn't for our 13 charter members. So it's really exciting that we get to celebrate our Charter Day. We've definitely made our mark on this campus with the way we've gotten involved on and off campus. So I'm just really glad that I was able to be a part of it.
2021-2022 school year is the first time in 6 years that the chapter has been active on campus. They haven't been here for the past 6 years, so it's a super important week, all leading up to that very important day. The girls are getting together on Saturday for a sleepover. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun after a super fun week on campus. But for now, reporting live from Shalala for the last time for UMTV, I'm Julia Hecht.
Julia Hecht, always a pleasure watching you in the field. Thank you. We're going to miss you and all of the other seniors that are graduating.
Yes, we are. NewsVision truly will not be the same without you guys.
That is it for Harvey and myself tonight, but we have another half hour of NewsVision coming your way in just minutes.
And speaking of seniors, it's Claire O'Connor's final show with us here at NewsVision. She and Daryl join us in studio with a look at what's to come in the next half hour. Guys?
Sophie and Harvey, thank you. Coming up on the next half hour of NewsVision, parking and housing at UM have been raising eyebrows with students lately. We'll have the latest on how students are handling the obstacles.
Plus, the Mommy Motion dance team has been making waves both on and off the stage. UMTV reporter Anna Kuhn catches up with the team.
NewsVision will be right back after the break. Stay with us.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear? Clothes. That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Just do your laundry in cold and stick to full loads. Auto-sleep your computers. Plug your gadgets in a power strip and switch it off when you're done. Headed out? Turn back your thermostat by 10 degrees. And drive sensibly. The more energy you save, the more money you save. Find other great tips at energysaver.gov.
The housing market nationwide has been hit with inflation, and South Florida is no exception. Learn how the housing crisis is affecting the Miami area and students at the University of Miami.
I can't really afford what's off campus.
Plus, from tiny spaces to strict rules to ticketing piranhas, the parking department has left UM students up in arms. Hear why many UM students believe parking has backed itself into a tight spot. And later on, next month is Asian Pacific Islander Month. Find out what the University of Miami is doing to celebrate this historic culture early.
But I'm super excited. I used to do this when I was a child, and it's so nostalgic.
These stories and more on tonight's show. NewsVision starts right now.
Hello and welcome to the final NewsVision show of the semester. I'm Claire O'Connor.
And I'm Daryl Barnes. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on the parking situation on campus and how the University of Miami is bringing in Asian American Pacific Islander next month.
But first, tonight,
UMTV reporter Regina Potenza covers rising real estate prices in Miami-Dade County and what this means for many residents of Miami.
April is National Fair Housing Month, and housing in South Florida is anything but fair, as Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava declared a housing affordability crisis earlier this month. This decision comes after local rents have increased by about 50% in the last year.
We must address the housing challenges our residents are facing, and we must make it easier for residents to live, work, and thrive in our county.
According to the Associated Press, the median monthly rent in Miami is about $3,000, but that is not stopping people from looking for places to rent or buy. In fact, one South Florida real estate agent says realtors in this area have never been this busy.
Coral Gables is a huge hotspot right now for all types of housing, student housing, apartment condos, to multi-million-dollar homes. They're just not available. The inventory is very low. There's a lot of buyers willing, able to buy, but it's just finding them the home.
During the pandemic, Florida remained open compared to other major states. People from states like New York, California, and Texas flocked to Miami, which drove up real estate prices.
There's a huge influx of people migrating to South Florida. First of all, it's a very business-friendly state, tax-friendly state, and a lifestyle, great weather all year round, and people are moving here from everywhere.
University of Miami on-campus Catholic missionary Olivia Alexander is from Texas and has been trying to find a place to rent within her budget, but houses are listed on the market, but being sold or rented fast.
There's just not a lot of houses available, let alone affordable housing, and so there's not a lot of inventory of houses, and then even if there are, there's so many people going after housing that it's just this war of 100 people for one house, so it's kind of hopeless, honestly.
The housing crisis is affecting students as well. The University of Miami does not guarantee students on-campus housing after freshman year.
When they over-admitted students, all the freshmen coming in got priority for housing as well, and we kind of got left out of it.
Students that used to live on campus are forced to look off campus to rent apartments in complexes like Red Roads, Valencia, Vox, and Thesis.
As long as there's a huge influx of people coming in to Miami-Dade County, there's always going to be buyers. But then at the same time, when someone sells and they want to stay in Florida, where are they going to go?
With Miami-Dade housing prices expected to increase even more by 2023, the Miami housing market is not moving in the direction of becoming more affordable. For UMTV, I'm Regina Potenza.
And since finding a place to live in Miami is becoming more difficult and expensive, students are feeling the demand for on-campus housing. UMTV reporter Bella Popduke joins us live to tell us what is happening with students and on-campus housing. Bella, what can students expect next school year?
Daryl, this semester has been very difficult for the UM Housing Department to accommodate everyone who wishes to live on campus. I talked to students and one housing official about what will be different for the upcoming school year. Florida native Alex Miller is one student who attends the University of Miami and calls UM's campus home. As a sophomore living in Pearson Residential College, he applied to live on campus for next school year.
So my main goals were Lakeside or UV. I put them as priority. I got terrible times. I didn't even get a chance when I logged on. And then I also did Eaton as just, like a backup. I got a terrible time for that too. So basically with all my housing, I had no shot. By the time I logged on, it was all sold out.
With no luck getting any type of on-campus housing, he is considering transferring because commuting from his hometown Naples, 2 hours away, would be too difficult, as is finding an alternative option.
Finding off-campus housing is already hard enough. I can't really afford what's off-campus, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Alex is just one of dozens of students struggling to secure their housing spot on campus. And this issue is something the university has not had in a long time.
We have over 10,000 undergraduate students, right? And for the last 2 or 3 decades, we've only housed about 4,300 students on campus. So 57% of our undergraduate students or more have actually chosen to live off campus. And that has been what we have done for those last few years.
So what is it that makes this year different? It's the largest incoming freshman class the school has ever seen. UM President Julio Frank said UM has enrolled about 2,700 first-year students this school year, which is around 300 more than the year before. This caused unprecedented issues such as some freshmen spring admits having to spend their first 2 months in Miami living in either the Thesis Hotel or the Marriott Dadeland. And now many students are worried for the next school year because of the higher demand to live on campus. One reason for that is the new dorm complex called Lakeside Village that opened in fall 2020.
Lakeside is just as good as anything you can find off campus, if not better in some cases. So that has pushed up the demand for on-campus housing.
But many sophomores, juniors, and even seniors could not get on-campus housing and currently have no set place to live.
We got a lot of spring admits, and then we also took away 700 people's housing by knocking down one of the buildings. So it's been harder and there's a longer wait list. So now it's kind of up in the air. I don't even know where I'm gonna live next year.
Although dozens of students are out of housing, just like Alex and Yanitza, UM has continued their plan to tear down Hecht Residential College, this building behind me, to make room for the new Centennial Village.
Why don't we keep Hecht open? Okay, why don't we keep it? But at the end of the day, so if we do it this year, what happens next year? And the year after, and the year after, and the year after. We were never supposed to have this many beds on campus. We're always supposed to maintain our 4,300 throughout the entire project of replacing our housing stock.
The demolition of Hecht was delayed because of the pandemic, but will now start in May 2022. The freshman dorms will be replaced by the new Centennial Village. And while the future of UM housing sounds promising, students are still scrambling to find where they will call home next school year. Last week, Housing sent out an email to over 1,100 students on the wait list for on-campus housing. The email said Housing will most likely not be able to accommodate the majority of pending applications, and they are strongly encouraging students to look for places off campus. For UMTV, I'm Bella Papaduke.
Bella Papaduke, thank you. Now, having a car here on campus is something every student dreams of until they have to find a parking spot. Harvey Dupluk is back with us out in the red lot. Harvey, do you see any tickets out there?
Thanks, Claire. Quite a few tickets out here, but that's no surprise because here at the university, when it comes to parking, the rules and regulations raise a lot more questions than they do answers. So I took a deep dive into the issues that parking faces, whether it's the constantly closed lots or the inconsistent appeals process. First, the price. Permits cost around $500 per year, and students who live on campus, as well as the faculty and staff who work here, are forced to pay up. Next, the permits themselves. The university has a system of colored parking zones that are designed to keep lots from overflowing. But it's first come, first serve. And just because you have a permit, parking is not guaranteed. This semester, parking has emailed students over 10 times to close various lots for events. That amounts to 1 in every 10 days with a closure, and that's just the ones that were announced. Portions of Pavia Garage and other spaces have been blocked off for months without any notification. and construction in the yellow lot has made for one of the busiest lots on campus into a nightmare for many. One university professor who wished to remain anonymous asked why the price of yellow lot wasn't reduced this semester, especially if the university knew that construction was taking place. And even if you find a parking spot, your vehicle's safety is not always guaranteed.
These parking areas need to have cameras by it, especially the parking garage. So I actually had a friend who had her car hit, and she wasn't able to find the person that did it because there's no cameras in the lot.
These issues aside, parking officials are quick to give out tickets, including to students with valid permits and during school breaks. Despite 5 consecutive years of lifted restrictions over spring break, parking did not loosen up this semester, causing many students to receive tickets. And if you want to appeal a ticket, the options are limited. The phone number written on the tickets is for the parking department, but appeals are handled by the appeals committee, which is a separate group. This committee has no public policy that explains which offences are eligible for an appeal, only the ones that aren't, such as there was no place to park or the lot was full. And if an appeal is denied, the balance transfers into a student semester bill, which means they cannot graduate until the ticket is paid, which leads to another important question. Where is all the money going? There are so many questions and I wanted some answers, so I sent a media request form on March 23rd, then a second one, and then a third one, and then I sent an email, and then I sent 3 more emails, and for over a month I did not get a response, until this past Monday, April 25th, in which parking reiterated information available online and provided one solution: to not drive cars by utilizing alternate modes of transportation to and around campus. And then, the next day, on the 26th, they declined my opportunity for an in-person interview. So now I'm here in the red lot at the communication school with, once again, a lot more questions and answers. And in fact, the spaces in this lot, they're not just an issue, they're illegal. According to Florida state law, parking spaces should be 9 feet wide, but I took a measurement of these spaces and they were only 6 feet 11 inches. That's 2 feet 1 inch less than the legal amount. So maybe now parking will agree to an interview, but I highly doubt that. Reporting for UMTV, I've been Harvey Duplock.
Harvey Duplock, thank you. Talk about commitment to investigative journalism right there.
Did you see those emails? I mean, I'm surprised I didn't respond.
Well, anyways, coming up next on NewsVision, news from around the country, including the latest in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, and what billionaire just bought Twitter.
But first, a word from a couple of our graduating seniors.
Blake Atwell, and I've been part of UMTV for the last 2 years. UMTV has brought a sense of family and community to my time here at Miami. I transferred from a community college, so not knowing anybody when I first got here, this is how I met people. And I am leaving with just lifelong memories and lifelong friends.
My name is Julia Hecht. I am the outgoing station manager of UMTV. I have been a part of UMTV for the past 4 years now. My best advice is if you're a broadcast major, do it. If you're not a broadcast major, do it. I think that everybody finds something in college that they really, fit into, and that's how they find friends. For some people it's a sorority, for other people it's a music group or an athletics group. For me it was UMTV, and I kind of think that I wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Thank you for staying with us. Vice President Kamala Harris has tested positive for COVID-19. The 57-year-old said she has no symptoms and is isolating. The vice president was prescribed the Pfizer antiviral pill that reduces the risk of hospitalization by 90% when taken within 5 days of a positive test. Harris's positive test comes as many members of Congress have recently tested positive because of the more contagious BA.2 Omicron variant. Harris is not considered a close contact to President Biden or First Lady Jill Biden.
President Biden is asking Congress to approve $33 billion in new aid for Ukraine. In a press conference earlier today, he said the money is critical to keep up the supply of weapons and ammunition. This comes as Russian forces are beginning to leave Mariupol, a city the Russian military severely damaged for 2 months. The Pentagon says Russian forces are now heading for the Donbas region. The $33 billion proposal would include more than $20 billion in new military and security assistance.
We need this bill to support Ukraine in this fight for freedom, and our NATO allies, our EU partners, they're going to pay their fair share of the cost as well, but we have to do this. We have to do our part as well, leading the alliance. It's critical this funding gets approved and approved as quickly as possible.
The request for aid is the largest single funding proposal of the war and is more than the annual defense budget of most nations.
It's day 11 of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Depp concluded his testimonies this week, and Heard is set to testify in the coming weeks. The actor is suing ex-wife Amber Heard for $50 million. He is arguing that her claims that he abused her are false, and in fact, she abused him. Heard is countersuing him for $100 million, saying he damaged her reputation by calling her a liar. On Tuesday, Depp's private Bahamian Island house manager took the stand, stating how things changed on the island after Depp started seeing Heard. Tara Roberts, who makes $10,000 a month managing Depp's island home, conceded that she was not with the couple 24/7 and that she would not know what, if any, abuse was happening behind closed doors. The trial is playing out in a courthouse in Fairfax, Virginia, and is expected to wrap up next month.
And speaking of celebrities, the world's richest man adds a new company to his portfolio. The Twitter board accepted Elon Musk's $44 billion buyout on Monday. Twitter shareholders agreed to $54.20 in cash for each share. Musk has pledged to embrace free speech and to be more transparent about the social media company's algorithm.
And from the internet to the real world, it looks like there's a storm brewing on Twitter.
Well, hopefully not in real life. Let's get another look at weather with UMTV weather forecaster Jared Maloney, who's joining us with a fresh cut for his final show. We see you,
Looking
Jared.
good.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, we're still cloudy right now. We had those storms earlier, and our temperatures are dropping now 75 degrees. Let's take a look at the radar again. We see we have a couple of storms firing up all across South Florida, but mostly focused on the western side. As we zoom back into Gables, we actually are in a little bit of a hole. We still have some more storms we're going to have to deal with through the night, but they're going to start to taper off once we hit 8 p.m., and then they'll taper off later on as we head through midnight. Now, let's take a look at our futurecast here. We have a couple things in play here. One, this dying front here is helping contribute to the storms we're seeing tonight and the storms we'll be seeing for a little bit here. But this high pressure is about to dominate the flow for the next couple of days, as we see here. Right now, this will be like later tonight. We'll still have some storms there. That's probably a little overdone, but we'll get a little break from that. And then later in the afternoon tomorrow, storms will be popping back up. I'll be trying to do some outdoor activities, so you might be able to squeeze it in a little bit, but just keep your eye on the radar for that. And that's going to be more of the same as we head into Saturday, Sunday area. Right now, our winds are actually lower. We've been running, we've had some high winds across this entire month, but right now it's a little lower, but that high is going to set the edge and the winds are going to return. And unfortunately, that's going to cause some, keep the high rip current risk that's been in our area for a little bit, and that's going to keep that continuing. So I'm actually going to attempt to head out to the beach on Saturday. I know in between the storms and such, I'm going to cross my fingers I can get some good luck there. So I'm going to keep an eye on the radar. You should too for that there. So tonight's forecast, though, we're going to be getting some rain tapering off especially after midnight. It should be clear by then. So any fun you're having tonight, just be sure to check on the radar for when you're traveling outside. Tomorrow we got a chance of storms popping up, and chance of storms popping up later in the afternoon. You'll be in and out dodging stuff. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be very similar, but those chances are going to be peaking right around Friday, and they're going to slowly taper off as we go through early in the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, though, it's looking much better there as the storm chances are going to be much lower, but those temperatures are going to be rising as the week heads on. So that'll be it for weather today. And now to Blake Atwell.
Jared Maloney for the final time on weather. Thank you, Jared. I'm sports anchor Blake Atwell, and up next on NewsVision, I'll have the latest on all things hurricane sports. But first, a word from some of our graduating seniors.
Forget about it. A blast off the scoreboard. Solo.
Anchor. It's hard to summarize exactly in a few sentences what UMTV means to me, because when I look back on my 4 years, I really cannot imagine my experience without UMTV. I mean, the faculty advisors quickly became mentors and other UMTV members became friends, so I know that I'll have the lessons and memories that I've learned here forever.
Hi, my name is Ben Ezzy, and I've been part of UMTV for the past 5 years. I haven't missed a NewsVision in the past 4 years. I've been in Studio B, control room, right here, and it's weird to think it's ending. It feels like we'll be back here next week. This last show is gonna be fun. The only thing that you remember is whether or not you had fun. So I'm hoping we have fun. I know I'm gonna have fun. It's gonna be special, it's gonna be exciting, it's gonna be NewsVision.
Welcome to sports. I'm Blake Atwell. Miami baseball beat Pittsburgh at Mark Lightfield last weekend, but it was no ordinary game. The Canes honored their first national championship team on the 40th anniversary of its title. Miami's 1982 team won 55 games and beat Wichita State to win the championship. The group received a standing ovation from Canes fans and chatted with players on the current UM baseball team. Miami would win that series against Pittsburgh and move on to their home game versus Stetson as the number 3 ranked team in the country. Miami struggled at the plate and lost to unranked Stetson by a final score of 12-4. The Canes smashed 10 hits but gave up 19. The defeat was UM's first home loss to Stetson since 1997. Next up for Miami, a 3-game road series at Georgia Tech. Game 1 is tomorrow night, and first pitch is scheduled for 6 p.m. Onto the basketball floor, Canes hoops guard Isaiah Wong is declaring for the NBA draft. Wong will maintain his eligibility, which means he can return to UM if he does not get drafted. The 6'3" guard was a major contributor for the Canes in the team's run of the Elite Eight this season. In his 3 years as a Hurricane, Wong has averaged over 15 points and 4 rebounds per game. Whether or not Wong returns, Miami will have a few new faces on the court next season. The Canes have landed 2 top 10 transfers in less than a week. Miami added Kansas State guard Nigel Pack over the weekend and Arkansas State forward Norchard Omier on Tuesday. Pack averaged over 17 points per game last season, and Omier was named the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year. Over to tennis, the Lady Canes enjoyed a big weekend at the ACC tournament. Miami women's tennis came into the tournament as the number 3 seed. The Canes beat Georgia Tech in the quarterfinals to reach the semis against 2-seed Duke. Miami would lose a close one to Duke by a final of 4-3. The Canes are not done yet, though. UM is set to appear in its 26th straight NCAA tournament. The field will be announced on May 2nd. Now, university athletic departments often say they try to operate as a family, but at the University of Miami, one woman takes this to a new level. Reporter Jacqueline Mara has the story.
How you doing, baby? Good, how are you? If you work anywhere in the athletic department at the University of Miami, you may not know her name, but you know Alicia Simpson. A Miami native, Simpson has been working at UM since 2011. She got her start working with the event staffing company for athletics, and now also works security in the front office of the Hecht Athletic Building. She says that her job keeps her going because of the student athletes she sees every day.
Oh, my students, my babies, seeing them every day.
Simpson is known around athletics for treating the students like they are her own, when in fact, she says she doesn't even know most of their names at all.
You're always, all of you guys are honey, baby, sugar, darling, sweetie. You know, it's too many of you guys to remember names.
Why she still treats them like family?
I never meet a stranger. And it's just me, you know, I just like to see people happy.
Many of the student athletes say that Simpson makes their entire day.
I don't think she has any idea the impact that she has in our lives every single day. It's not just about the little words here and there. She makes us feel so happy.
Before every game, she's always there to greet the players out of the locker room as we get ready for the game.
When it comes to Simpson, she says there's one guarantee.
When you come in or you see me somewhere on campus, I always have a good thing to say, and you know, that just brings joy to me.
Reporting as one of her babies, I'm Jacqueline Mara.
For the last time with sports, I'm Blake Atwell. Sending it over to UMTV reporter Anna Kuhn, who headed to UM's club dance team's spring recital. Anna.
Blake Atwell, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Miami Motion has performed semester showcases since 2013, but with university-implemented COVID-19 protocols, they had to cancel their last 4 shows. I got the chance to catch up with the team and talk about how it felt to be back on stage.
Like many club sports, Miami Motion dance team allows students to continue their athletic career in college. And for these Canes, that means a lot, as many of them have been dancing since before they started kindergarten.
I've been dancing since I was 2 years old, so being able to continue was definitely helped me transition easier to college. I just wanted to continue what I've been doing my whole life.
But since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, the 30 dancers have been unable to perform in person. After one semester on Zoom and the next outside on a concrete basketball court, the dancers were ready to be back in the studio.
Spotlight, put it on me, and I'm ready.
And on Wednesday, April 20th, the team set to take the stage for the first time since 2019.
This has probably been 2 years now, so it's been incredible to be out there again. I love performing. It's what drew me to dance when I was 2 years old.
I was very surprised. I felt really bad that there were people that weren't sitting in chairs, but I was blown away by all the support. Being able to do competitive dance and perform, and we all love, so it was amazing.
The team performed 12 dances, all choreographed by students, before taking a bow.
I think it went absolutely amazing. Just being out there with my team and my best friends, I couldn't ask for anything more.
Now that the team is back in person, Miami Motion looks forward to hosting their next showcase in the fall.
The team was so excited to be back on stage, so be sure to keep a lookout for their fall show. You can follow the team's latest updates on Instagram at UMiamiMotion. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Anna Kuhn.
Anna Kuhn, thank you. Coming up next on NewsVision, learn how the University of Miami is celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander culture ahead of AAPI month in May. But first, a word from our graduating executive producers.
Spencer, I am one of the executive producers of NewsVision along with Sir Tyler Walsh. I've been doing UMTV for 3.5 years now, my entire college tenure. I wouldn't trade it for the world, honestly. If you're in broadcast and not in UMTV, then I don't know what you're doing because you're missing out on such a great opportunity. This is as close to a professional environment you're gonna get at this level. The people and the friends that I've made, the family that I've made is incredible. And again, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I love these people.
Hi, my name is Tyler Walsh. I'm one of the executive producers for UMTV NewsVision, and I've been on UMTV for 4 years now. Throw yourself into UMTV. Do not be afraid to put yourself out there. Try new things. It's okay to fall, learn from your falls, and just immerse yourself in it. This is an amazing group of people and amazing resources that we have, and I wouldn't change anything about these last 4 years on UMTV. I really wouldn't.
Thank you for staying with us. Next month is Asian American Pacific Islander Month, and the University of Miami is holding events to celebrate this culture. The weekly classes are taught by the club's executive members, with each class having a special theme, with the latest theme being Asian Night. During the event, participants choose from recipes such as vegetable and crab rolls, spring rolls, and crab rangoons.
Amazing people, and they get to help me out and walk me through the process. But yeah, definitely, I'm all about having like a good learning experience.
After the cooking is done, both participants and executive members sit down to eat and enjoy their hard work.
And Claire, you want to talk about hard work? And this is it for you.
This is it.
I mean, it all came down to this. It all led up to this, and now saying goodbye for one last time.
I know. I anchored my first show with you last year, and now it's come full circle. This is so crazy. 4 years.
Went by quick. Went by quick. Hopefully the next two don't go by that quick for me.
I know. I mean, you meet such good people. Hey, Fia.
Anyways.
All right. Well, that's it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to everyone here on NewsVision for another incredible semester.
We'll be back in next semester in September, some of us at least, for another semester of NewsVision. But until then, enjoy your summer and have a great night. And people like Claire graduating, have a great graduation and beyond.
Aw, thank you.